All right. We'll come into some stillness here. I'm currently seated with my legs crossed, nice and tall. If you'd like to put a prop underneath your hips to get your hips higher than your knees, it's a wonderful choice. Let's begin by breathing in through the stomach. If you'd like to place one hand on your stomach and one hand on your heart. Come into stillness and come into your breath. Breathing in through your nose, pausing at the top of the inhale, and then exhaling out through your nose as well. Couple more deep breaths. One more deep inhale together. And on this last exhale here, a sigh out the mouth. Go ahead and swing your legs around. Let's all come up to stand. So from standing, we're just going to come into some spinal warm-ups here. So your feet are going to be wider than hip distance apart. And you just begin to kind of sway from side to side. Letting your arms come around the sides of your body. Maybe they tap your hips or your low back. And as you begin to make these movements a little bit larger and you turn from side to side, the opposite heel comes up as you twist, okay? Just letting your arms kind of dangle. Nice noodle arms right now. Just getting into your spine. Just letting the weight of your arms pull on your biceps and your triceps, into your elbows, down into your fingers. And we're going to begin to make those movements a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller until you come back to stillness. Go ahead and adjust your feet so that they are hips distance apart. On an inhale, let's raise the arms up above the head, grab the left wrist with the right hand, and then exhale over to the right. Inhale, back up through center, switch the grip. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, back up. Again, switch the grip over to the right on the exhale. Inhale, back up through center, switch that grip. Exhale, over to the left. Beautiful side body stretch. Inhale, back up, reach up, look up. Forward fold, bring the hands down through center. And when you get forward folded right over those legs, maybe pedaling out your knees a little bit individually. If your fingertips don't touch the ground, you want blocks there, you can put blocks there. You can bring your hands to your knees and just kind of pedal out your feet. And then come back to stillness, hanging out in that forward fold. Inhale up for a halfway lift, nice flat back. Exhale, release. Plant your hands, step it on back to upper push-up position. And we'll flow through these initial first vinyasas here. So from that upper push-up position, whether your knees are up or down, begin to breathe in through your core and fire up, start to build some heat. Make sure your hips aren't sagging a bunch. Really drawing the belly button up in toward the spine. One more deep inhale through the core, and on the exhale, lift the hips high, send them back, coming into your first down dog. If pausing here in stillness and just feeling the backs of your legs begin to stretch and expand is enough for you, that's wonderful. If you need to pedal out your feet here, you can obviously feel free to do that as well. Listening to your body and doing what is necessary is the whole point of coming to your mat, right? Making little micro adjustments. You can inhale, look between the hands, and then glide forward to upper push-up position. to make sure that your feet and hands are the proper distance apart. And if you have, come forward to upper push-up position on the exhale. Send the hips back high into that downward dog again. So in this downward dog, really pushing through the armpits, sealing your entire hands to the mat. Nod the head. Yes. Shake it. No. On inhale, come up to both tippy toes. Exhale, lower both of the heels to the earth a little bit deeper. On inhale, raise the right leg to hip height, bend at the knee, open the hips, stacking the hips, three-legged dog here. Inhale, re-straighten that leg, exhale, put it back down to meet the left. Next, inhale, lift the left leg up, bend at the knee, stack the hips, three-legged dog on the left, getting into the front of the hips. Inhale, re-straighten, exhale, send the left leg back down to meet the right. On an inhale, look between the hands. Exhale, step, walk, or jump, feet to hands at the top of your mat, back in that forward fold. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep the arms up. Bring the hands right down through heart center and forward fold, coming right back down into that forward fold at the top of your mat. So going through this initial warm-up, making that blood flow, feeling what's going on in your body, and breathing all the while. So back in your forward fold, you inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale, release. Plant the hands down, step back to upper push-up position, whether your knees are up or down, in modified plank or not. On your next exhale, begin to bend the elbows in toward the side bodies, lower to the mat in one piece. Untuck the toes when you arrive. Inhale up for a little baby cobra. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes. Inhale deeply, and on the exhale, that's when you make that transition to downward dog, right? Beautiful. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, look between the hands. Exhale, step, walk, or jump, feet to hands. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep the arms up. Bring the hands down through heart center, forward fold, right back over the legs. Come back into forward fold. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Pause. Exhale, release. Plant the hands, step it on back to upper push-up position. Begin to breathe, fire up that core. One more deep inhale through the core. Draw the belly up and in. Exhale, bend the elbows in toward the side bodies, lower down to the mat in one piece. Untuck the toes when you arrive. Inhale up for a little baby cobra. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes, push up through hands and knees or through plank. Send the hips back to down dog. Let's keep building this blood flow a little bit, shall we? From your down dog, inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, step, walk, or jump, feet to hands. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale, release. One more time, halfway lift on an inhale. Bend the knees very deeply. Begin to sit the hips back into chair. The arms can come up to frame the head. They can be out in front of you for a counterbalance. They can come to your hips. They can be at heart center. Stay nice and light through all 10 toes. Draw the belly in to protect the low back. Relax the tops of the shoulders away from the ears. Press the thumbs into the heart space if your hands are at heart center. Check in with the belly again. Breathe. Begin to fire up those quads. One more deep inhale. Exhale, straighten the legs, forward fold, pour it all the way out. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way up, sweep the arms up, sit the hips back to chair again, ha ha ha. Stay nice and light through those 10 toes. Maybe even if you want more here, you can come up to the tippy toes, lifting the heels up off of the mat. One more deep inhale, and then on the exhale, straighten the legs, pour it out, forward fold. Inhale up for a halfway lift, and then exhale, release. Plant the hands, step it on back to upper push-up position, and then begin to hold. Breathing in deeply. Making sure, checking in with the backs of your feet. Make sure that the heel is stacked directly over the toes, that the heel isn't reaching back for the wall. You want to feel an energetic pull of the heel going toward, like you're sending energy out of the back of the heel toward the back wall or the back of your mat. But the proper alignment is to make sure that that heel is stacked directly above the toes, right? Okay, so in this upper push-up position, one more deep inhale. On the exhale, bend the elbows in toward the side body, lower down to the mat in one piece. Untuck the toes when you arrive. Inhale up for a little baby cobra. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes, send the hips right on back through the exhale. Come back into downward dog. Pedal out the feet. All right, that was a nice good warm up there. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit warmer. I certainly am. On an inhale, raise the right leg to hip height. And on the exhale, bring the right foot through in between the hands. Lower the back, left knee down. So in this modified lunge. Your back left toes can be tucked or untucked. Personally, tucking the toes is too much on my knee, so I have untucked toes. Pressing the top of the left foot into the mat, making sure that there's a beautiful right angle in that front right knee. Inhale the arms, reach up, look up. Lower the hands down to frame the front foot, and on the exhale, extend the right leg, flex the right ankle, send the hips back over the left ankle. On an inhale, rebend that right knee, sweep the arms up, look up, reach up. Exhale, plant the fingertips, extend the right leg, sending the hips back. Inhale, rebend through the right knee. Inhale, rise up, up, up. Exhale, plant the fingertips, extend the right leg. Inhale, rebend, reach up. You're flowing through this to your own breath, at your own pace. Beautiful. Last time, we'll all meet up with that right bent knee at the top of the inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. Draw in the belly to protect the low back. Bring the hands down to frame the front foot. Come up off of the back left knee. So you're back up in this low lunge. If you need the back knee still lower down, that's absolutely fine. So you're in this full version, this full expression of crescent lunge. Swivel the back heel down, open on up to warrior two. Flip the front palm, inhale, bring it back. Exhale fully. Use your core, inhale, come back up. Bring the right elbow to the right knee, side angle. Beautiful. Maybe extend the left arm over the left ear. And then maybe bring the top of the left hand to the small of the back to really open the collarbones. Looking up toward the ceiling if that's comfortable for your neck. It's certainly an intensification. Or you can look down at your front foot. Beautiful. On inhale, use the core. Draw yourself back up to warrior two. Straighten the front right leg. We're going to come into triangle. So you're going to reach, 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 reach out over the right ankle with your right hand. Send the left hip back. And then tip, hinge at the right hip. Coming into triangle on the right. Gentle micro bend in the front of the right knee. Awesome. All right, we're going to come into wide-legged forward fold here. To do that, rebend into the right knee, front knee. Begin to turn your toes toward the front corner of your mat. You're going to walk your hands in through center, straighten both legs, and there you are in wide-legged forward fold. Grabbing a block for your forehead if you want some support there. Hands can come to your ankles. You can walk your hands forward off of the mat. You can walk your hands back through your legs. Wherever you need. Really taking nice deep breaths. Sending long lines of energy up the backs of the legs. Inhale up for a halfway lift here. And then exhale to release. Inhale, come all of the way up. Heel toe your feet in a couple inches. Your toes are still pointed out toward those outer corners. Yep, you guessed it. We're coming right into goddess, so go ahead and bend those knees. Really engage that core so you're not sticking your butt out. Scoop the tailbone under. Hands can be on your hips, on your knees, or up in these goddess cactus arms. You can wiggle a little bit or stay here in stillness. Once again, firing up those quads, just like chair. Inhale, straighten the legs, reach up, look up. Exhale, rebend, lower. Inhale, straighten, reach up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, lower. Maybe getting a little bit lower and deeper into that saddle seat. Inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe heel to your feet out a couple more. Coming back into that wide-legged forward fold. Awesome. So you're going to walk your hands to the back of your mat now, to your left foot, because now we're going to do that entire little sequence with the left foot facing forward, right? So first, you're going to walk your hands around to the left foot. Turn the left toes toward the new front of your mat. Come up to the toes of the back. Right foot, lower the back, knee down. Untuck the toes if it's too much for your knee. Inhale, rise up. This modified lunge. And begin to flow through your breath. Exhale, lowering the fingertips, extending the left leg, flexing through the left ankle. Inhale, rebend and rise. Exhale, plant the fingers, straighten the leg, flex through the front left ankle. Inhale, come back up, flowing through this to your own breath, getting into your hamstrings and into your calves. Couple more times to your own breath. All right, and that last time, we all end up. Left knee is bent. In this beautiful modified lunge. Bring the hands down to front left foot, come up the back, come up off of the back left knee, and then come up for the full expression of crescent here. Swivel the back heel down, open up to warrior two. So the hips are open toward the side of your mat, as well as your shoulders. You look out over that middle left finger. Flip the front palm, inhale, bring it back. Exhale fully. Use the core to bring yourself back up, and then bring the left elbow down to the left knee. Right hand comes up toward the ceiling for side angle. Maybe the right arm flows forward to the front of your mat, and then back to bring the top of the hand to the small of the back. Look down at your front knee. On an inhale, use your core to come back up. Straighten the front leg. Reach, 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 reach with the left hand. Send the right hip back, and then pivot and hinge. No pivoting, sorry, just hinging. Just hinging. We're now in triangle on the left. Maybe looking down at your front left foot or up the ceiling. Or if you'd like to try something different, maybe close your eyes. All right, bring your right hand down to the inside of the left foot. Bend into the left front knee, come up to the toes of the back right leg. On an inhale, bring your right leg all the way up to the top of the mat, so you're back in that forward fold. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep the arms up. Sit the hips right back to chair. So you're back in this chair position. More quad work. Your arm variation may look different now. Maybe your arms are out in front. up above. Maybe you even grab a bind behind the back. And from this chair pose, lower your hips a little bit deeper. One more deep inhale through the core, draw the belly in, and then exhale, forward fold, pour it all out. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale, release. Plant the hands, stepping on back to upper push-up position. And we're going to flow through this vinyasa. So that's inhaling deeply through the core. On the exhale, bend the elbows in toward the side body, lower down to the mat in one piece. Untuck the toes when you arrive. Inhale up for a little baby cobra. Exhale, release, and send the hips back, coming back into your down dog. Wonderful. Pedaling out your feet. On an inhale, raise the right leg to hip height, bend at the knee, open and stack the hips, coming back into that three-legged dog. Stay flexed through that right back ankle, as if you could put a footprint on the wall. Inhale, re-straighten that leg, and then exhale, bring the right leg down to meet the left. Inhale, lift the left leg up, bend at the knee, open and stack the hips. Stay flexed through that back left ankle. Breathe deeply. Feel the whole front side body on the left side. Open. Inhale, re-straighten that leg, and then exhale, bring the left leg down to meet the right. And breathe. Lower both knees to the mat. Take the knees nice and wide, the big toes to touch. Go ahead and come down to child's pose. Rest for a moment, maybe get some water. So down in your child's pose right now. Knees are wide, big toes to touch. Hands are forward toward the top of your mat. On an inhale, begin to crawl your hands back in towards your pelvis, coming back up, stacking the shoulders above the hips. All right, we're gonna come back into plank pose here. Let's do some side gate stuff and some side plank stuff. We're all gonna start out modified. So, you can start out in hands and knees first and foremost. So you're in tabletop position, shoulders are stacked over your hands, knees are under your hips. What we're going to do from here, you're going to bring your right hand into the center of your mat. So we're going to transition into a side plank here with the right knee down. So you're going to extend your left foot back to the edge of the mat, seal the pinky toe edge to the mat. Your right leg is going to kickstand out off of the mat. So your right knee is down, but your shin is actually off of the mat. And you can inhale and lift up, stretching your left arm up. Maybe you lift the left foot as well, flexing through the left ankle. So you're just on that kickstand leg. Maybe you bend the left knee, reach back, and grab the bind. Beautiful chest stretch, releasing with control. And re-extending, maybe lowering, maybe coming into a full right side plank if you'd like to. I personally really enjoy the kickstand, honestly. Because now we're going to transition into some side gate stuff. So from here, your right knee is down. You can bend into your left knee a little bit and come up off of the right hand. We're going to have to adjust our legs a little bit here, right? So you're going to bring your right knee away from your left leg, and you're still in that kickstanded position. So you're in this almost like a side lunge kind of deal. This is called gate pose. If you need more support under your right knee, you can fold the yoga mat over, which is exactly what I'm gonna do because my right knee is very sensitive. So look at your back left foot. The pinky side of your foot is sealed to the mat, just like in Warrior 2, right? So now you're in this beautiful side gate pose. Inhale, both arms up to frame the head. And then we're going to go over to the left. So your left hand comes down to the top of the left leg. And it's just a beautiful side stretch here. Reaching up and over with your right arm. Inhale, come back up. Bring the right hand to the right hip. You're going to go to the other side. Reaching over with the left. Not so much support there, right? So keep that hand on the right hip to stay supported. Inhale, back up. Left hand to the left leg, and right arm reaches up and over. Inhale, back up, and both arms come down to the sides. Beautiful. Okay, so let's get into this on the other side, shall we? So go ahead, swivel up to the toes of the back left leg, bring that knee down. Hi, Julian, how are you? All right, so we're gonna come into side plank. So we're gonna come through plank first to start. So you're up in plank here, really drawing that belly in. Exhale, send the hips right back to down dog. Hanging out there for a minute, nod the head, yes, shake it, no. All right, glide forward to upper push-up position again. Lower the left knee down, kickstand the left shin off of the mat, swivel the right heel down, and then bring the left hand to the middle of the mat, and then open up into the right side. Maybe lift the the back right leg. Maybe bend that right knee to grab that bind. And then slowly release with control. Keep the leg lifted, and then lower it down. Maybe you even take this side plank a little further. Bring the right knee into the chest. Grab the toe. Straighten, lift up. You have a couple different variations and choices and options here. Just getting curious and getting creative about what you can do here with this left knee kickstanded down. Lower the right leg if it's still lifted. Inhale, come up. Maybe readjust your legs if you need to get your left knee farther away from your right leg. So you have that nice wide side gate stance. Inhale, both arms up. And then over to the right. Right hand comes to the top of the right leg. Left arm reaches over. Inhale, back up. Left hand to left hip. Right arm reaches up and over. Inhale, back up to your center. Switch, going to the other side, flowing through. Inhale, back up. Hands come to the hips. Beautiful. Go ahead and come to face the top of your mat. You're kneeling. You're up high on your kneeling stance, right? You're not seated. You're actually up nice and high. We're going to do a little bit of camel here, coming into a nice back bend. So for this back bend, if you have blocks, I highly recommend them. Once again, if your knees are sensitive, fold the mat over so you can get more cushion under your knees. You can tuck the back toes. And once again, if you have blocks, they would be right about here, right next to your ankles. Because then you're going to swing the left arm up and back, reaching for the block or your ankle, and then the right arm follows. Coming into this beautiful back bend. In camel, you allow the neck to relax back. So come out of it, slowly coming up, bending the knees. Take the knees nice and wide, big toes to touch, and come right down into child's pose. This is a wonderful counter stretch for that very intense back bend that we just did. Lowering your forehead to the mat. If I were there right now with you, teaching you, I would come over and give you an assist and push your hips down. to really stretch out that low back stuff. Since we just did that really intense low back stretch, let's get into a little bit of twisting here in your child's pose. So on an inhale, raise the right arm up, open up, and then thread that arm underneath the left armpit. Bring the right cheek to the mat. If you'd like to further this twist here, you can take your left hand to the small of your back, open up. Release the left hand. Inhale, bring the right arm back out long at the top of your mat. Surrender the forehead. And then we'll do this on the left side. So inhale, lift the right arm, or the left arm up, 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 open. Thread the left arm under the right armpit, left cheek to the mat. Maybe bring the right arm to the top of the low back. Release that right hand. Inhale, bring the left arm back out long to the top of the mat with the right. On an inhale, walk the hands in toward the pelvis. Bring the knees in, back to the midline, hands to the top of the mat, and go ahead and come back into your down dog. Let's get into some half pigeon here, shall we? On an inhale, raise the right leg to hip height. Focus on that internal rotation. Look in between the hands. And on an exhale, bring the shin to the top of the mat. Lower the shin down. Inch the left leg back. If half pigeon is not in your practice and it gives you any kind of knee pain, I invite you to roll over onto your back and try reclined half pigeon, okay? We're just trying to get into our hips right now. If you have a different hip opener that serves you better, listen to your body and do that. For this half pigeon here, your shin is lowered down. If this gives you any knee pain, bring your foot in closer toward your hips. Beautiful. So really want to kind of make sure that you're not pouring all of your weight onto that outer right hip. Your weight is centered. You can inhale, look up, and then exhale. Crawl your hands down to your degree. Maybe have a block for your forehead here. On an inhale, begin to crawl your hands back up towards your pelvis, rising back up out of this half pigeon. If you want to take the bind, you can bend the left leg, grab the top of that foot, pull it into your body. Slowly releasing the left leg when you've had enough. To come out of this, tuck the back left toes, come up off of the back left knee, send the right leg back to meet the left. Hips are high, you're back in your down dog. Pause here. Inhale, raise the right leg to hip height, bend at the knee, open and stack the hips. Inhale, re-straighten, and then exhale, lower that right leg down to meet the left. On an inhale, raise the left leg to hip height, look in between the hands, bring that left leg right on through, lowering the shin down at the top of your mat, close to it. Checking in with your knee, making sure there's no knee pain. Making sure that your weight is evenly dispersed between both hips. You're not sitting out on that outer left hip. Inhale, look up, and then exhale, crawl on down to your degree. Check in with your jaw, bring the tip of the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. On an inhale, go ahead, walk your hands back in towards your pelvis. If you want to grab that bind on this side, bringing the right ankle in toward the body. Slowly releasing that bind when you've had enough. Tuck the back right toes, move off of the back right leg. Send the hips high for down dog. On an inhale, raise the left leg to hip height, bend at the knee, open the hips, stacking the hips. Inhale, re-straighten that leg, and exhale, lower the left leg down to meet the right. On an inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, step, walk, or jump, feet to hands. Inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way up, sweep the arms up, sit the hips right back to chair. Maybe getting a little bit deeper into this chair than you were earlier. Maybe coming up to the tippy toes if you didn't do that earlier. If you want more. If not, just making sure that you're really thoroughly engaged through that core to protect the low back. Sit the hips a little bit deeper. One more inhale. Exhale, forward fold, pour it all out. Inhale up for the halfway lift. Exhale, release. Heel toe the feet out past hip distance and then bend the knees very generously, coming down into Malasana squat. Drawing the knees in toward the midline, pushing the elbows into the inner knees. From this Malasana squat, I'll give you a couple of options. You can lower the fingertips down, and you can begin to flow through your own breath, inhaling to lift the legs and extend, and then exhale to rebend and come back down. Or you can pop up into crow. So for crow, your fingertips release down, seal your hands to the mat, and then begin to shift your weight forward. Your inner knees stay connected to your outer elbows the whole time. And then maybe you lift one leg off from the other. Coming into that forearm balance. So you have a couple options. You can be flowing through, extending the legs up, and then rebending, or you can come into a nice forearm balance here. Or if this is enough for you and you're getting a lot of hip sensation, hopefully no knee pain, and if you want even more from here, from your crow, you can lower your forehead to the mat, coming into tripod or popping yourself up into a headstand. Whatever you choose to do, when you're done, we're all going to come down to seated, legs extended long to the front of the mat. Feet are nice and flexed. I'll give you a moment to all get here. There's no rush. Take your time. Legs extended long, feet are nice and flexed, the top of your mat. Inhale, both arms up to frame the head, and then exhale, bow forward. Release the hands, and on an inhale, come back up, stacking the shoulders over the hips. Take the legs nice and wide off of the mat. Feet stay nice and flexed to protect the backs of your knees. Then go ahead and crawl down again to your degree. Grabbing a block for your forehead is always an option. Really making sure that you're breathing so very deeply here, because for some of you, this inner thigh is gonna liven right up. And as soon as you begin to feel that, that's where you stop and you breathe, right? So it's not about how far down into this pose and how far you can get to the ground, how close you can get to the ground. It's not about that. It's literally just about listening to your body. And whenever you feel this inner thigh liven up and really start to talk to you, that's when you stop and you breathe, right? Breathe very deeply, sending the air to the backs of the legs and the inner thighs. On your next inhale, walk the hands back in towards your pelvis. Bring the hands to the outer edges of your knees, and then help your legs to close them like a book. Give your legs a little pitter-patter, little windshield wiper action here. All right, let's begin to lower down. So you can tense your knees. Roll down nice and slow, so you're laying down on your mat. On an inhale, bring your knees up into your chest. Roll around, massage your low back. Bring your arms out in a nice capital T. Palms facing down, arms are long off of the mat. I'm going to cross my right leg over my left, and then go ahead and lower the entire leg formation over to the left. You can look out over your right arm if that's comfortable for your neck. Using the core on an inhale, bring the legs back up through center, cross the left knee over the right, and then lower that leg formation down to the right, looking over the left arm if that's comfortable for your neck. On an inhale, use the core, bring the legs back up through center, uncross the left knee from the right. Bring the knees into the chest, roll around, give them a little bit of a hug. Extend both legs up to the ceiling. So from here, your legs are extended up. You can point the toes, flex the ankles. You can bring your hands to the backs of the knees to help support the legs, to keep them uplifted. You can even go to the wall at this time and let your legs lean against the wall. This is all about bringing the energy back to your core. I was just talking to a friend yesterday when we were at the waterfalls about this. It's one of my favorite ways to bring the energy back. This is a great energy boost. You can do it anytime throughout the day, and it will kind of wake you back up. At this point in time, you can bend the knees back into the chest. Give them a hug, maybe bring the forehead up to meet the knees, and then release the forehead back down. If you need anything else at this time to complete your practice, please feel free, whether that's a happy baby or some more supine twists, whatever you need right now to complete your practice, maybe a half bridge, maybe a full wheel, whatever you're feeling. As we begin to unwind fully, your legs are going to be extended nice and long to the top of your mat. Your feet splay open naturally. Your arms are down along your sides. We're coming into Shavasana, this period of silence, this period of rest to allow your body to absorb the practice that you just did. This is a period of silence, so I will bring you out of it with my voice when we are done. But for now, enjoy Shavasana. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring your attention back to your body and back to the room around you. If your eyes are still closed, gently allow them to open. Reach the arms up overhead, one at a time, full body stretch. Point the toes away from you. Reach up and away with the fingers. And then slowly bring the arms back down along the side. Maybe roll over to your right side. Pausing there for a moment before you use your arms and hands to push yourself up to a seated position. Pick something in the space around you to look at. Your eyes are open very softly. Together, take a breath in. And a long sigh out. On an inhale, bring both arms up to frame the head. Look up, reach up. Exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. Bring the arms out wide. Big swan length of the arms. Yup. Inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. Open up, fan the arms out to the sides. Inhale, look up, reach up. Bring the hands down to heart center. Place your thumbs right into your heart space. Bow your head to your heart, lift your heart to your head, bring the two closer together. Thank you all so very much for joining me today for 9 a.m. Flow. It's always a pleasure to see your names pop up. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I hope that you have a smooth Mercury and Venus retrograde. And yeah, happy summer, y'all. The light and the truth in me sees that and honors it in each of you. Namaste, everyone.